Hello, folks. Pastor Sean coming to you with an informational video about how we are going to return to church this Sunday. I'm very excited about us being able to be back in worship together. And let's go ahead and jump right into this video, and I'll take up as little of your time as possible. Number one, if you are coming back to church, fantastic. If you don't feel like you're ready to come back to church, fantastic. We want you to be comfortable coming to Irwin Hill when you feel comfortable coming to Irwin Hill. If you don't feel like you're ready to get out and be among people quite yet, then take another week, take another 2 weeks, whatever you need to do. We're going to be back in full swing with everything going on possibly by the first weekend in June. So everything should be back to normal for us by the first Sunday in June. But we are going to have church on the 10th, the 17th, the 24th, and the 31st of May to make sure that all of the kinks are worked out, all the bugs are worked out, and we're excited that we are able to get back together and be in service with you. Now, a couple of things that you're going to notice when you get into the sanctuary. Number one, there will be social distancing implemented. There are pews that are marked off. There's a piece of burlap over the opening of the pew. Don't take that off. Just walk on into your pew where you normally sit at. Please sit in family groups. If you have been quarantined with your mom and dad, and all of you live in the same house or live in the same community, and you've been quarantined with them, or you've been seeing them during quarantine, and nobody's gotten sick, you can all sit together in a group, in a family group, and then we will social distance family groups from family groups. Now, with that said, if you sit on row 3, and that's always your row, you've sat there since, Brother Shope was a boy, then row 3 is marked off, it's roped off. Sit on row 4, sit on row 2. Be a little flexible, bend with the wind, and be a little flexible. We will help you find your seats. We will help you find the correct social distancing. If you have small children, please keep them with you. Please, please, please keep them with you. And if you think that they are going to be needing to get up and go to the restroom, or that you think that they're going to get a little unruly and you need to step out with them, please sit in the back. Feel free to sit toward the back of the sanctuary. That way, you won't disrupt anybody when you get up and slip out. So it's perfectly fine to sit in somewhere that's not normally your seat. All right? We do have limited capacity in the sanctuary because of the social distancing rules. We do have limited capacity in the sanctuary. So honestly, it'll be a first come, first serve. So if you want to get your seat, get there early and we'll put you in your seat. But if you come, 5 minutes after service starts, you're going to get the seat that's left. And I hate to be that way, but because of social distancing rules and regulations and the laws that are being enforced, we can only have so many people in the sanctuary, and when we reach that number, we'll have to do a little shuffling in the back, but we will be able to accommodate just a handful more, but not very many. So that number is a little bit above what we normally have on Sunday mornings. So we're comfortable having visitors. We're comfortable having new folks in because of the social distancing. We don't think that it'll be a problem. And we also know that some of our super seniors that are above the age of 80 are not going to be coming just for simple reasons that they're not quite ready to get out, and that's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. But you will notice social distancing. Now, Sister Stephanie and I, Pastor Patrick and Sister Sharon, and Pastor Tim will all be available there to help you with the social distancing. I'm not sure if Joan's going to be back off of vacation. If she is, she'll be there as well. But we will help you find your seats and help you with the social distancing. So just know that we're here to serve you. A couple of things that are going to be missing from the service. Number one, the coffee station will not be available. Number two, the fellowship area in the back will not be available. We're not going to do the coffee or the fellowship area simply because we can't let it become cross-contaminated where 3 or 4 or 5 different people handle the coffee station. We just can't allow that to happen. That's too risky, and so we're just going to cover up the coffee station, and we'll have it available back in a couple of weeks. The fellowship area back in the back is going to have to be reserved for overflow in the event we have more people than our pews will be able to hold through social distancing. We have some area in the back to where we can use for overflow, and that's the fellowship area. The next thing is the offering. We will not take up the offering during the service. It will be available as you exit. There will be somebody there with a bag so that you can pay your tithe and sow seed into the offering. That'll all be available to you at the end of service. The kiosk will be available, and there will be some wipes back there that will wipe it down. You can wipe it down after you use it so that the next person coming in feels safe using the kiosk. All of that will be available to you, just like always on Sundays. But the offering will not be taken up during the regular service. It'll be taken up as you exit. There'll be an opportunity for you to use that. The kids' church and the nursery will not be available. We will not be doing that. So please keep your children with you. And if you need something to entertain them other than me, I know I'm entertaining, but if you need something other than me to entertain them, feel free to bring it and keep them, to keep them entertained back there where they are. Again, if you have small children and you feel like they're going to need to go out on the front porch and be quieted or be fed or whatever, feel free to sit toward the back of the sanctuary. Now, if you need to go downstairs and nurse your child, or if you need to go downstairs and you have some type of emergency where you have to go downstairs and do something with your child, see Pastor Patrick, and he will unlock the bottom half of the church. Otherwise, it's going to be locked. He'll unlock the bottom half of the church and allow you access to that. Other than that, there'll be no access downstairs unless it is in an emergency situation that cannot be dealt with upstairs. Okay? And Pastor Patrick knows, he knows what he's doing back there. So if you come back there and say, my kid's got a runny nose, he's going to hand you a tissue. He's not going to let you go downstairs. All right? So with that said, that gets us to the bathrooms. The bathrooms are for emergency uses only. If you normally are like me and you drink a whole lot of coffee before church and know you're going to be able to have the bathrooms there at the church, don't plan on that. Don't plan on that. Let's use the bathrooms only for emergencies. Now, I understand emergencies arise, and we're not going to deny you access to the bathroom upstairs in the event of an emergency. But also know that somebody has to come out of service and clean that bathroom, and they're going to miss portions of the service because they're cleaning the bathrooms because you couldn't use wisdom. Now, use wisdom and go to the bathroom beforehand, and or wait till the end of service and use it at the end of service, okay? Use a little wisdom because the bathrooms will be for emergencies only. How are we going to enter and exit the church? Please enter through the front door of the church. The doors will be wide open. They'll be wide open, and because one of the things that the state recommends is that you open up your doors and windows and let a breeze come through that helps alleviate the virus sitting on surfaces and things like that. So we're going to open up the front doors of the church and allow you to come in through the front and exit down the ramp. Now, does that mean the ramp's off limits? No. If you're in a wheelchair or a walker and you need to go up the ramp in order to get into service, go up the ramp by all means. But we will enter through the front door and exit through the ramp. That way we can control the sanitation. We can control the cleanliness of everything that's going on and make sure that everything is sanitized and ready for you to use. So we will enter through the front door, exit through the ramp. Okay? And then finally, safety is at your own discretion. Safety precautions like gloves and a mask. If you want to wear gloves and a mask, you wear gloves and a mask, all right? If you don't want to wear gloves and don't want to wear a mask, that's perfectly fine, all right? Now, let me say this. We haven't had this issue, but I've seen it at Walmart and at grocery stores and different places like this. If you are wearing masks and gloves and you feel comfortable doing that, praise the Lord. That's wonderful. But if the people sitting behind you don't have masks and gloves on, let's don't police them, all right? Let's don't say anything to them. Let's don't harass them. They've chosen not to wear masks and gloves, and that's perfectly fine. There is no requirement saying you have to wear masks and gloves to our church. There's no requirements. And there's no condemnation. Now, therefore, there is no condemnation for those who do not chooseth to wear gloves and masks. Okay? So, let's use some wisdom. Let's use some love. And if you want to wear mask and gloves, wear your mask and gloves. The staff will have on masks during the greeting time, and of course we'll take those off when we are operating in the service. but the staff will be wearing masks, and my family will be wearing masks, not because we have anything, but we're there to protect you. Wearing masks protects you from anything that I may have asymptomatically, all right? And so if you want to wear masks and gloves, that's perfectly fine. Hand sanitizer will be available, as always, at the back of the church. It'll be available back there in the back, and then we'll have a station as you're exiting. If you want to get some hand sanitizer on your hands as you're leaving, there'll also be a table available up at the front of the church as we are exiting out through the ramp. As always, if you have questions, if you have concerns, feel free to ask. Ask myself, Sister Stephanie, Pastor Patrick, Sister Sharon, Pastor Tim. All of us, as the main staff, are there to serve you. The greeters, the ushers, the elders, all of them have a basic knowledge of what's going on, but the staff has been involved in this process from the beginning, and that's what we're here for. So if you have questions, please, please, please ask them. Now, come to church. Have a good time. Socialize with one another from a safe distance. And let's get ready to be back together, worshiping God in spirit and in truth. David said, I was glad when they said unto me, let us go into the house of the Lord and learn of his ways. That's where we are, folks. We're back to the point to being able to come back to the house of God and worship the Lord, freedom, spirit, and in truth. I love you. I'm praying for you. I hope to see you this Sunday, 11 o'clock, Irwin Hill Church. God bless you is my prayer.